Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the RGB LED and doing some fun coding with it. So today I don't really have that many notes because it's quite simple. So the RGB LED isn't a normal LED. Unlike a normal LED that has 2 pins, the RGB LED has 4 pins. One pin saying red, meaning red, the longest meaning ground or needs to be connected to ground, the second longest meaning green, and the one to the very right meaning blue. So as you can see, the colors match RGB, red, green, blue. So what's so cool about this, that if you turn on the red pin, then it'll glow red. If you turn on the green pin, it'll glow green. If you turn on the blue pin, you can make it glow blue. And what's even cooler is that if you make red and green glow, it'll make a whole new different color. Although I just want to let y'all know that we are going to be doing that today, but the red isn't that strong. I mean, look at how the green and blue are glowing, but then the red, yep. So whenever I turn on both red and green, you won't be seeing much of a change, but you can see the slightest change. So in this video, I'm going to be connecting the red pin to pin number 9, the green pin to pin number 10, and the blue pin to pin number 10, and the longest pin is going to be connected to ground. So let me just go ahead and turn this off, and I'll show y'all how I first connected it. So the white one right here, this is what I connected to the longest pin. As you can see, I put the RGB LED in the same order as this guy. So red, green, blue, and ground. So ground is the one to the who's second most to the left. So I used a white wire to show that that is connected to ground. And I also color coded these. So red right here is the red wire and green is the green wire. So as you can see, I connected my RGB LED in a different way. I left one pin right there so that the resistors can go there. So I used 220R for most of them, but since the red was so weak compared to the others, I decided to use 100R. But still, it's quite weak. So let's see how it goes. If you have RGB LED and the red is doing just as fine, then you can go ahead and use the same resistors. But for me, my red isn't doing that well, so I'll be using a different one. So I connected my resistor to the red pin, and then I connected it to a wire that's then connected to pin number 9. And then I did the same for the rest of them. Green to a resistor, then to the LED according to its pin number, because if you went ahead and kind of mixed it up, then it's not going to work at all. You're just going to get a bunch of random colors that you never anticipated. So now is the code. The code is quite simple as well, but it is tiring. So let's go ahead and start off. Let me just real quickly make some changes. Yep. So yeah. So very first thing that I did was that I wrote red pin and named it as pin number 9. So red pin, the variable, is now 9. It is the pin number 9. So that way I don't have to go and write 9 and then I'm like, wait, what does that equal again? And then I kind of get mixed up. It's just better off to name it as red pin so that I'm not getting mixed up and I can write my code with 100% accuracy. And I did the same with the green pin number 10, blue pin number 11. And then my void setup, I went ahead and named all of them outputs. I used pin mode and I put them in the parentheses: red pin output, green pin output, blue pin output. And always remember to include that semicolon, because without that, the code won't run and then it's going to say some errors, and you just do not want that happening. And then the void loop, this is where I actually said that the red pin was going to be lighting up, and so I used digital write to say whether the pin would light up or not light up. So very first thing, so I went in the order of where first the red pin was high, then the green pin, then the blue pin, then both the red, green, and then the red and blue, and then the green and blue, and then the red and blue, and then all three. So very first thing I did was I went ahead and wrote digital right and named red pin as high, because that's what it's going to be. And then I named the rest of the pins low. Now I included this so that I wouldn't really get confused. And so next I wanted them to last for 1 second. So I wanted the red pin to glow for 1 second. So I wrote delay, parentheses, 1000, which the coding uses milliseconds. So 1000 milliseconds is equal to 1 second, meaning 100 milliseconds is equal to 0.1 seconds. So then I just did the same over here. I wanted the green pin to glow, so I wrote green pin. Well, first I wrote digital right, parentheses, green pin, and then high, and then blue pin low, red pin low, delay 1000, and the same for all of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it, but don't expect to see a humongous amount of difference from each of these. Of course, you can see them between the red, green, and blue, but once you get to something like red and green, it's gonna look a lot like green. But yeah, so let's go ahead and run the code. Hopefully it works. Oh yeah, that's right, I didn't plug it in. My fault, guys, my bad. All right, now we upload it. Okay, now we upload it. Yep, it's working all fine. And let's check this out. All right, so very first one, red, green, blue, red and green, green and blue, red and blue, and then all three. So as you can see, you can't really see much of a difference between whenever I say like red and green, it looks a lot just like green. Why? Because the red, there's not that much, so it's not really interfering with the green light as much as whenever I say, let's say, green and blue. Then you can see a kind of big difference. And like all three, you see this red, green, you can kind of see that it's clearly a lot like blue. And then the very end, it kind of looks like a little bit of white. It's kind of like a very light blue. So yeah, you can see a very slight difference between some of these, but then that's because the red LED is of course working quite low, as you can see. But yeah, it seems to be working just fine. Since you can see those slight changes, that just tells us that we did do it right. And I think we're all good to go. And this is all that was in this class, and hope you learned something new. Bye bye.